Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between Jason, welcome back to the Rundown, a 10-minute testing ripoff for the TCG. Burst Protocol is coming out soon, and it is chock full of interesting cards. Cards that make meta decks even more meta, cards that bring back decks to the meta, and a whole bunch of cards that will not make much of an impact on the game at all. Speaking of such cards, one of my favorite archetypes is getting brand new support in this set, so I'd like to take this time to show what I'm cooking post Burst Protocol. But not only that, not only is this deck getting direct support, but I'm able to splash in the brand new TCG exclusive archetype. So please allow me to introduce to you GMX Fur Hire.
Scary monsters!
That's right, today we're taking a look at the brand new GMX cards along with the Fur Hire archetype. Fur Hire, genuinely one of my favorite decks of all time to play in Yu-Gi-Oh! I am a big runic sprite Fur Hire enjoyer, and when I saw that this brand new TCG exclusive supports Fur Hire, not only, but is a one card enabler for Fur Hire, I had to cook. So what we have here in front of me is just that, the deck I've cooked up for the pre-Burst Protocol. Before these cards are actually in my hands physically, this is what I've been working with on Omega. Check out the stream VOD if you want to see that. But I gotta say, the deck does feel pretty good despite people's complaints with the power level of the new archetype. That archetype is the GMX, a series of various types of cards that all facilitate dinosaur plays. The idea is there are a bunch of scientists who become dinosaurs. Let's start our card by card with the GMX cards. So to start off, we have GMX Researcher Salon, making this big for you just so we can all read together. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon one non-warrior GMX monster or one level 3 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect, you can add one GMX spell trap from your deck to your hand. If a dinosaur fusion monster is on the field, you can shuffle this card from the field into the deck, and if you do, negate the effects of one face-up card in the field until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect of GMX Researcher Salon once per turn. Because he can special summon the level 3 or lower dinosaurs, he can special summon Rex Free for Hire from the deck, which gets us going on the one card combo. Our other GMX monster in the main deck, we have GMX Chairman Kimridge. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one GMX Applied Experiment number 5 from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. This card is special summoned by a monster effect. You can target two cards in your graveyard that are GMX cards and or dinosaur monsters, place them on top of your deck in any order, then you can destroy one attack to your monster your opponent controls. You can only use each effect of GMX Chairman Kimridge once per turn. Our last monster for the GMX archetype is Returned Dino Deneen. Notably, it does not have GMX in the name, but it is still part of the archetype in its text and the fact that they support dinosaur monsters. If this card is special summoned by monster effect, you can add one GMX monster from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, you can fusion summon one dinosaur fusion monster from your extra deck using monster from your hand or field. If this card sends to the graveyard, you can make all dinosaur monsters you currently control gain 400 attack. You can use each effect to return Dino Deneen once per turn. So this is actually pretty interesting. What Deneen can do for us, obviously, is add either the Salon or the Kimridge. If we already have a Salon, we add the Kimridge. Kimridge puts himself back, gets the spell, and all that good stuff. But Deneen can also be summoned off the graveyard effect of Miscellaneous Source, because it is a level 1 dino, so we just activate Misk banishes itself, and summon the Deneen, which then adds the Salon, and then we start doing full combo from there. As well, the extra effect of when this card goes to the graveyard allows us to do sort of chain blocking. Now, our last GMX card in the main deck is GMX Applied Experiment number 55. This is not the card art. I don't know why Omega does this. They just sometimes take forever to put the art of the card in the game. I mean, I'm editing the card art over this right now. Anyway, normal spell card. Excavate top cards of your deck until you have excavated a GMX monster and a dinosaur monster. Lose 400 life points for each excavated card. Then you can fusion summon one GMX fusion monster from your extra deck using any excavated monsters as material. Also shuffle the rest into the deck. You can only activate one GMX Applied Experiment number 55 per turn. So that's how it is kind of brand fusion. If you squint, it does send the fusion material from your deck to the graveyard, but you kind of just gotta hit it. This is why we have to play a quote-unquote big GMX package, because there is a world where this spell could kill us. Let's go over the rest of the deck, and then we can check out some games. First off, we have 3 copies of Fossil Dig. This is obviously one of the best cards ever in any Dino deck. Searches Rex, searches our miscellaneous source, which of course is the best one card combo. We're on one copy of Rafale, Champion for Hire, one copy of Wiz, Sage for Hire. Usually you'd only play just the Rafale and for Hire decks. After doing testing, I noticed that we were dying a lot to spell traps, so I decided to throw Wiz into the deck as well. It is also nice to have another level for an effect like Rookie for Hire. Now on to the first of our new cards, we have Rex, Ride for Hire. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon one monster for hire from your hand except Rex Ride for Hire, then special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Rex Ride for Hire once per turn. If a card is added from the deck to your opponent's hand, except by a card effect for hire, and you control another monster for hire, except during that step, you can draw one card. Next up, we're on one copy of Seal, Strategist for Hire. Seal is also another card that usually doesn't get played in these kinds of decks, but I noticed a lot the time we just needed to get another Fur Hire name in our hand, whether it's because we just found a Rex off a random draw, or if we just sort of did full combo without ever using a Rex, we needed another guy back. So we would throw down Seal, make a link, and then be able to get our Rex online. We're on one copy of Beat Bladesman for Hire. The most unfortunate part of this deck is that people got so hyped about the K9 for Hire version of the deck that some people bought out Beat. This little guy who was $5 last year is now $30 a copy. Thankfully, we only need the one. We're on one copy of Dampa. Of course, we're on 3 copies of Rex Free for Hire. I see a lot of decks have been trying to play like 2 Rex, but I don't think that's exactly correct. But I always want to make sure I have access to multiple Rex, and we will be banishing Rex for our first turn combo, so we really need other copies to find off of Rafale, or maybe summon off of Folgo. Now on to another one of our new Fur Hire cards. We have Fandor, the Flying Fighting Fortress. This card is always treated as a Fur Hire card. Monsters for Hire you control gain 300 attack for each monster for Hire you control with a different name. You can only use each effect of the following effects of Fandor, the Flying Fighting Fortress once per turn. During your main phase, you can add one monster for hire from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. If it's a monster for hire you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon one monster for hire from your deck. Just lets us grab any card for hire we want, pitching a card, gets our graveyard set up if we need it. Run one copy of Mayhem for Hire, just really good quick effect Reborn, and one copy of Rookie for Hire. And one more brand new card coming out in Burst Protocol. We have Furtive Techniques for Hire for all your ultimate moves, or as other people would refer to it as the back shots card. Target face-up cards in the field. If the number of monsters for hire you control with different names, destroy those targets. Or if you control at least one each of level 8 or higher and link 3 or higher monsters for hire, you can banish those targeted cards instead. If a level 8 or higher or link 3 or higher monster for hire is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use one Furtive Techniques for Hire for all your ultimate moves. Effect per turn, and only once that turn. We're on one copy of Miscellaneous Source. Onto the GMXs once again. We're on 2 Salond, 3 Kim Ridge, 1 Deneen, and 2 GMX Applied number 55. Now we're on non-engine. We're on 2 Ghostbell and Haunted Mansion, 3 copies of Molcharmy Fulos, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Nibiru, and 2 Troll and Lock Bird. Now on to the extract. Let's get started with the GMX monsters in our extract. We have 2 copies of GMX Alos, 1 GMX monster plus 1 dinosaur monster. Each time your opponent normal or summons a monster, you gain 200 life points in order to pay yourself back on all the burn you take off the normal spell. You can only use each of the following effects: GMX Alos once per turn. You can target 1 GMX monster or 1 dinosaur monster in your graveyard or banish it, special summon it. This card can attack the turn this effect is activated. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that monster. So it's kind of a construct if you squint, but that's not the important part. The important part is this is an extender. When we send a dinosaur such as Deneen, such as Rex, such as other Rex, to grave to fusion summon this off the fusion spell, it can then just revive them back. The best hit possible is hitting the original Rex, who would then trigger to add the search, and this guy is a level 8, so we can then Rookie for Hire the GMX Alos away for our Wiz Sage for Hire. We're on 1 copy of GMX Velox, 1 GMX monster plus 1 dinosaur monster. Each time your opponent normal summons a monster, gain 200 life points. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, activate top cards of your deck until you activate a GMX monster or a dinosaur monster, lose 400 life points to each activated card, add that GMX or dinosaur monster to your hand or special summon it, and shuffle the rest into the deck. Also after that, destroy that targeted card. A lot of text, a lot of reading to just say, this is sort of a Trident. She is sort of a Trident, but she also burns you again. So again, you're at risk of just dying. We're on 1 copy of Zombie Vampire and 1 copy of number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. We frequently find ourselves with 2 8s on the board, and we could use the Zombie Vampire for extension, or if we just want a more generic negate, let's say if we don't have any cards in hand to be able to use the Rafal negate, we'd overlay Rafal and the Alos for the Photon to make sure we get a negate. We're on 1 copy of Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I just respect Lunalight too much to not include an Underworld Goddess. 2 copies of Fulgo Justice for Hire. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix. 1 copy of the brand new Keel Ship for Hire. Material, 2 monsters with different types. If this card is Link Summon, you can set 1 Spell Trap for Hire or 1 Fandora the Flying Fortress from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except monsters for hire. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 monster for hire from your hand, and then if your opponent controls a monster with the highest original on the field, even if tied, you can special summon 1 more such monster. You can only use each effect of Keel, Ship for Hire, once per turn. Keel is another way we can bridge any other engine into for hire. We're on 2 copies of Donner Dagger for Hire, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 IP Masquerena, and 1 Cross Sheep. We do have the flexibility spots in this extra deck. There is not a lot of mandatory cards. The Zombie Vampire and Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord are not mandatory, neither is the Nightmare Phoenix or the Underworld Goddess, so you could take those 4 slots and just mix and match whatever you really feel like having in those slots. Now, for the side deck, we're on 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Evenly is actually really good in the format right now, just because there's not a lot of Bell Trap interaction from the top decks. 3 Lightning Storm. We are respecting Dragotail in this house, so we are on 3 Retaliating Sea. 2 Triple Tactics Thrust to search any of our normals here. Also, Harpy's Feather Duster, Triple Tactics Talent, Called by the Grave, and 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance. So, that's the card by card. Why don't we check out some games? Alright, here we are, game number 1, and our opponent is just... they're on the stuff, man. They're just on the stuff. But we get to go first, and I get to show off every single card we have. So, let's get started. We're going to go first and activate the Fossil Dig, adding as a copy of Miscellaneous Source, activating the Miscellaneous Source effect. We're going to pitch it to the grave to then special summon Return Down to Deneen by banishing the Miscellaneous Source. Deneen adds Salon. We're going to then normal summon the Salon. Salon effect, we're going to special summon Rex from the deck. Activating Rex effect to get the Rookie for Hire. You can see we already opened the Fortress and the Trap, so we don't really need to do anything else there. Using Rookie to summon Beat, then we're going to fuse into Alos. Los effect, reborning the Rex. Beat sees that, summons the Rafal. Let's go ahead and get our negate set up. So we're going to do Rex, Beat, summon the Rafal. Rafal effect, Dig. We see Ash. We see a card that we don't need. So we're just going to get a second copy of Ash Blossom. We're going to activate the Field Spell, adding the Rex, and then pitching the Rex. Linking off a Cross Sheep, then activating the Rex effect and Grave to special in the Cross Sheep zone, pointing to a fusion. So we get to summon back our Salon. Salon gets us the spell, and then we're going to be summoning, a lot of stuff happened there by the way. We're going to be linking off her Fulgo and summoning Wiz Sage Rider from deck. She's going to activate her effect in order to gain us some life points based on what for hires we have on field. I slowed this down and it's still way too fast. We're going to activate the GMX number 55, digging through our deck, seeing nothing there. So Dino, just gotta find a GMX. There we go, we find another copy of Salon, taking 4,200 damage and summoning Vel Locks. We're going to link off for IP Masquerena, set our Furtive Techniques for Hire, which we opened, and passing turn. We have right now our second Rex all right and ready to go. Special summon another guy and get our plays going. Alright, the opponent's going to lead with a Lightning Storm, which we'll have to then use our IP Masquerena to summon another Fulgo. The field spell will trigger, which then summons Seal from deck, and then they'll fire a copy of Triple Tactics Talent. So we're going to Rex now, bringing back Fulgo. Seal sees that, and Seal will add a guy back from grave. They then activate into your server, which will eat one of our Ash Blossoms. Then they reveal incoming machines, adding Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon, normal summoning Zoa, setting Max Metalmorph. Going to be setting that Max Metalmorph for the Red Eyes Metal Claw Dragon, and I don't think there's a better opportunity to use our trap card, popping 2 and then drawing 1 card off Fulgo because we only control 1 other for hire. They will set 1 and go battle, punching over our Seal, and then they can also draw a card because they have the Fulgo, and then they realize, well, this isn't enough to play any kind of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and they surrender. Not the best deck from our opponent, but I am glad I was able to show you the full combo. For our next game, we have one of the matchups I saw the most while testing, the Mirror. We're going first once again. We open double Fossil Dig, Ash Blossom, and the Chairman. We're going to go ahead and add Miscellaneous Source, banish it, they Fua, and we Ash the Fua. Let's go Deneen effect, add Salon. We're going to be doing this combo again, although it's going to be a little different because we didn't open any for hire names. We go Rex, add Rookie effect, tributing the Rex for beat. Then we'll go ahead and fuse, make the Alos. Deneen gives us a bonus, attack Alos, summon back the Rex, Beat sees that, adds Rafal, and we'll go ahead and summon out that Rafal once again. Rafal then digs, we find another chairman, but at least this time we found the furtive techniques for hire. Going to activate the Cambridge, which they will then Ghost Spell, and we say, no, actually, I want that to resolve, so we are able to use the Rafal to negate that. Going to go ahead and dig. We found it pretty early this time, only taking 1100 damage off that one, linking off for the full go and triggering the graveyard effect of furtive techniques to then add it back to our hand. We're going to summon from our deck a copy of Donpa, and then link that off with our Alos for the Keel. Keel is going to set a Mayhem from our deck, and we'll fire that extra Fossil Dick for the Rex, then using Rex Graveyard effect to summon, link off for Donner, and then Donner effect to reborn Donpa and reborn Rex. Now, from this position, we have the Donpa pop, we have the Velox pop, we have them under Shared Ride, and of course we have the furtive techniques and the Mayhem as well, and we will be able to use the Link 2 effect to summon this Rex from hand should we need it. Alright, they're going to draw for turn, then normal summon their own Rex. We're going to gain 200, we're going to say, well, actually, let's just go ahead and get our negate online now. They add Whirlwind on a brand new card I'm not actually playing in this version of the deck. We go ahead and activate the Rafal effect, but they respond with Ghost Ogre. We let that go through popping our Rafal, and we add a Ghost Spell of our own off the top of the deck. They go Battle Crash into our Fulgo, which just allows us to draw 2 cards, but then they can activate Whirlwind. They summon Wiz and Beat, trigger the both, and I just get the Wiz negate out right away, so they have to send a card from their hand. We're going to head Donpa to pop their card. Go from there. They're going to activate the Rex, summoning their other Rex. Rex can summon Rex, and we'll go ahead and Ghost Spell their Rex Engrave, which they say, well, I saw enough, let me add it. So we're back on deck, and hey, that's a lot better than people are giving it credit for. Yes, there are a lot of issues with the deck. You do take a lot of damage. The end board isn't unbeatable, but I think it's still good enough. So let's go over the pros and cons. First, the pros. The GMX cards add a whole host of 1-card combos for hire that it just didn't have before. Miscellaneous Swords being 1-card combo is crazy. False Dig having a better targeted add than just Rex is also really good for us. The Fur Hire deck itself has always had a very weak normal summon, so having a card with a tour guide-like effect really changes a lot for it. The GMX spell itself is also it is basically branded fusion, if you squint. Being able to send essentially a starter for us and a GMX to grave is really nice, and the fusion monsters we can summon aren't that bad. People are really crapping on them for Velox being a bit of a confusing card to resolve, and Alos having some non-synergies if you try to use both effects in the same turn. The new Fur Hire cards are also really good. Keel Shipwright for Hire can really get us going if all we have is 2 Blink materials. There's also a lot of room for non-edge in this deck. Neither GMX nor Fur Hire really demands a crazy amount of deck space, so we do have a lot of space for non-edge. In other versions like Runic Sprite for Hire, the deck would just be completely Runic spells. And I also have to admit, Fulgo being able to just draw a bunch of cards on the opponent's turn really puts us ahead in card advantage. Now the cons. This deck struggles going second. There's not a lot we can do if the opponent puts up 3 negates. Fur Hire has also always had this weakness of when you normal summon a card, you're pretty much dead to like an Imperm or a Veiler, and we do still have that issue. Saland it's tour guide, it's a negate magnet. The deck also isn't really safe into Nibiru. You saw me opening a couple of hands where we were able to get the Rafal, but that is in about 5 summons, which could be pretty weak to that. We're also not really good into spell traps. Wiz I threw in the deck because I kept losing to spell traps during testing, but even then it's not consistent to get both Wiz, Rafal, and the rest of the normal end board. Also, while Rex Ride for Hire is pretty nice into a Charmy, basically being able to let you draw while they draw, you really do not want the opponent to still be drawing. So despite everything, yes, you can be even on card advantage, but they're probably going to draw much better things to play into your board than you're going to draw to stop them. And of course, the deck is, in fact, weak to Droll and Lockbird. But with all that said, I am looking forward to playing more of this deck. I don't think this is the final product in front of us. I think there's probably more we can innovate on this deck, which is what I would like to hear from you in the comments. If you are also a big Fur Hire fan, or if you think these GMX cards are really cool, or if you think Velox is your wife like I do, please go ahead and leave in the comments your thoughts, what you would change, what you think I'm missing, if I'm doing the combo wrong, or if there's a more optimal way to do it. Please go ahead and leave that in the comments. I really want to talk with you guys about how to make this deck better. I love Fur Hire, and I think these GMX cards are super cool. So I would love to make this playable. Thank you again so much for watching. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and all the other good stuff. Goodbye.